Hey everybody, here's your dividing decimals by whole numbers video. So your notes are out in front of you, and we are certainly going to write down everything. They look like this. We are certainly going to write down every single thing that you see on this video. Here we go. In order to train for a cross-state biking trip, Cole rides his bike 34 and 75 miles 5 times per week. How many miles does he ride his bike per day? So we're saying in the whole week he rides 34 and 75 miles. If he goes 5 times per week, we need to figure out per day. So anytime we want to go from a multiple amount to 1, we're always going to divide. So let's do a quick reminder on how to divide when we have decimals. Alright, so we need the word that is the answer to a division problem. So go ahead and fill that word in. I'm sure you know it. Answer to a division problem. It starts with a Q. That's called quotient. Make sure you know how to say that correctly. Quotient. So the answers that we're going to get are called quotients. Alright. If we divide this number, 6 divided by 2, the quotient is the 3. Now these two are saying the same thing here. This is 6 divide 2, that's 3. 3 is the quotient. This is still 6 divide 2, answer being 3. Okay, just because this is a dividend, this is a divisor, shouldn't make any difference. 3 is the quotient, 3 is the quotient. Alright, if you see something listed horizontally like this, the first number, it's always the first number, in this case it's 6, that goes under the bridge. I call this little thing a bridge. The 6 is the first thing that goes underneath there. So whatever the first number is, it doesn't have to be bigger or smaller, the first number goes under the bridge. Okay, so if we had something that looks like this. First number is 3 and 1600, so the first number goes under the bridge. So set that up. The next number is the divisor, it goes on the outside. Alright, before we do any sort of math, we're going to bring the decimal up. I'm sure my excellent students already knew that. So we first bring the decimal up. Now we have to go through our steps. So you've done this in elementary school, this is going to be super easy. We're going to first divide. Does 4 go into 3? No, it doesn't. So does 4 go into 31? Yes, it does. 4 times 7 gets us into 31. So we just divided. 4 goes into 31 7 times. Now we're going to multiply. Should I write these steps down? Yes, of course, I should write these steps down. 4 times 7 we know is 28. Next step's already given away to you here. We're going to subtract. And we're not going to borrow. We're not going to do any of that junk. 31 minus 28 is 3. We're not going to make it any harder than that. If I had $31 and I bought something that cost 28, I'm going to have $3 left over. Let's not make that difficult, please. Alright, so we've divided, we've multiplied, we've subtracted. Our next step is to bring down anything that's left over. So in this case, there's a 6. So I'm going to bring that 6 down. Notice how I drew an arrow there? That proves to whoever's looking at this that I know what to do next. So, if I'm a student, do I need to prove what I know? Hint, hint. Once I bring down, I have to start this process all over again. I'm starting from the bring down, I go right back up to the top. So 4, does 4 go into 36? Yes, it does. 9 times, 4 times 9, multiply is our next step. Subtract is our following step. 36 minus 36 we know is 0. How do I know I'm finished? Because I got a 0. The only way that I can finish is if I get a 0. It's the only way that my division can be done is if that ends with a 0. If this isn't a 0, I have to add a 0 up here, bring it down, and move on from there. Keep following this list over and over and over and over. And here's your note telling you that. Let me get this out of the way. Getting a 0 tells you that you're finished. That's the only thing that tells you you're finished, is this goose egg here at the end. Very important. Never, ever, 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 never, ever, 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 never again will you have a remainder. Ever. Never, ever is there going to be a remainder. Ever. There's only ever going to be a 0. That's the only way that you can finish. If you have what this word is, I'm not even going to say it anymore. If you ever have that, you add a 0 and keep going. You are never, ever going to have one of these again. Never. Ever. Not in 6th grade, not in 7th grade, not in ever, anywhere, never, ever. All right, so let's go back to our problem here. So he rides his bike across for a cross-state biking trip. It's going to be 34.75 miles. He goes 5 times per week. So we got to see how many times 5 goes into that 34 and 75 hundredths situation. So stop the video and you try it. All right, so I'm bringing my decimal in first, of course. Of course. 5 doesn't go into 3. 5 goes into 34 6 times. 5 times 6 is 30. If I subtract, I get 4. Now I'm going to bring down. Look at me showing that I'm bringing down. Interesting. 5 goes into 47. Excuse me, 9 times. 5 times 9 is 45. Subtract is my next step. That gets me 2 left over. Now I'm going to bring down again. 5 goes into 25. 5 times. That should work out evenly. That gets me to 0. The only way I know I'm done is that I have a 0. We are saying he rides 6 and 95 hundredths miles per day. 6 and 95 hundredths miles per day. Feel free to go back if you need to. Okay. So this guy right here, I want you to start from here. Feel free to look back in your notes, follow the steps, these guys, see if you can figure it out. Stop the video, go ahead. All right, so I told you first number goes under the bridge, so here we go. Second number is your divisor, that's on the outside. Divisor is what that's called. You know, let's write that just to make sure that we understand. Divisor. That's this number on the outside. Okay, so my excellent students, I'm sure, brought the decimal up first. 3 goes into 22 7 times, which is 21. Subtract that, you get 1. Next step is to bring down. 3 goes into 16 5. 3 times 5 is 15. Subtract and get 1. Next step is to bring down an 8. 3 goes into 18 6 times. 3 times 6 is 18. I know I'm finished because I've got a goose egg. Here's my answer. 756 thousandths. 756 thousandths. That was decimals, dividing decimals by whole numbers.